Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Suzanne, and today we're going to be talking about how to store your worm castings long term. In fact, to call these worm castings is actually a bit of a misnomer, because at this point this is actually vermicompost, and so that's what we're talking about today. Now, the thing about this is that this is a series that I said back in December I'd be shooting all in one go. Except if you saw that video, I did say that I'd be shooting it all in one go, and I shot quite a lot of it. And during the first video, which is about how to harvest your worm castings and when and all that, I said that this would be the second in the series, which that's how you're seeing it. Now, I also said that I was recovering from flu. So the reason that this is actually being shot in January, so I hope the new year is treating you all well, is because I actually pushed myself way too hard that day. It was exceptionally cold and I wasn't as recovered from that flu as I was pushing myself for. I do have a lot of other really bad conditions, and I did the thing that I used to do as a former athlete and pushed myself through the wall, and that's not a good thing to do for me anymore. And so I paid a very hefty price for that. So I do apologise to all those of you that were replying, and to those of you that follow me on Instagram and had sent me messages over there. I didn't reply to anyone. I took a very enforced break to recover from all of that. So that's why you're seeing this video shot in January, and it's right at the end of January. But anyway, it is the second in the series, and if you haven't seen the first one, I will link it at the end. So we're now talking about how to store our castings or vermicompost once we've actually got them harvested, and why we might want to actually do that rather than using them straight away. So there are times where we do use them straight away, and that's because it's summer, we've got a need to use them, and we'll get to that later. But for now, for me, like I said, it's January. I'm in the UK, which is a temperate zone 8. And so I've got this tote and I've got all these castings, and I've got absolutely no need whatsoever to be using them. So I need to store them. So how are we going to do that? Well, like I just mentioned, I've got this huge solid black tote, and that's what these castings need, because like I just mentioned, actually at this point it's vermicompost. But the term compost for this is a bit of a misnomer, because it's not actual compost in how we use other compost in the garden to feed our garden. In that this is a different kind of ecosystem in here. In that we've got biota in this. It's a living product, which will still have that in our other compost, but that compost is acting as a food for the garden, whereas this is acting as an ecosystem specifically to work with the plants. And so we have worms in here because I haven't sifted this through, and I didn't take out any cocoons because this was very damp when I actually harvested this. Now, the other thing about this is that it has exceptional water holding properties. So we've got to be careful in how we store this. We don't want to store it too wet, because then it'll get anaerobic, which is not good for any of the worms that are left over in here. But we don't want it too dry either, because that will mean that the ecosystem of biota that are in here, the microbes and everything, will also die. So you need a good moisture level in here of somewhere between 50 and 70%. Now, the other thing about this is that for those microorganisms to survive, you need to feed them. And what would you feed them? Well, for me, these are actually about as finished as they can be, mostly. There is little bits in there because, again, like I said, I didn't sift these. So there are little bits of scraps of food in here, and a lot of people will take theirs at about 80%, which will mean that there will be carbon in here. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these in a moment. But if I I wasn't going to do what I am, and all I was going to do was just store these for over the winter if I'd got more, or there was nothing else that I wanted to do with these. I'm sorry, you're going to see me flicking little bits, because what you'll be able to see up here is castings on the side of this bin, because like I mentioned, there are worms in here, which is why I'm going to do what I'm doing. But if I'd already sifted these through and I knew there were no worms and no cocoons in here, or I just wasn't too bothered about the little stragglers that are left in here, because you will always get wisps even if you do actually sift them. What you could do is just put a layer of leaves over the top, or newspaper, even if you wanted to. These are my micro shredded cardboard that I put in my pre-composted bedding, or when mine is too wet, because I have huge amounts of humidity here. The UK gets a tremendous amount of rain, but I live next to a tidal river as well, so we have exceptionally humid here where I live. So sometimes I do just put cardboard through mine anyway, so that it does soak up the moisture. So you could put a layer of this over the top and then just scrape it back to take your castings out as well. However, I'm going to do something different with mine, because I do have a lot of worms in here, and I've got a lot of cocoons in here that are going to be hatching as well over a period of time. So if I see if I can get you, this is quite deep as well, by the way, so here we go, look, there's one of my little worms, not enjoying the light, so hopefully that'll focus. I have to remember to put my entire hand behind there for you to focus in. So that's the type of worms that I've got in here, and they're growing. Now, I don't want to have to sift through all of this, so what I'm going to do is even that out, and then I'm going to use a trick that I saw from, I think it's Nana's Worms. I'm going to correct that, it's Sandra, she's lovely. I watch her channel all the time, so I'm going to put that down in the comments below and a link to her channel. But she was using these, the coffee shop takeaway mugs, and I've saved these for ages specifically to do this, to bait these worms out. Now, I've used other things in the past. What I had previously was, you can get, they're just like plant pot, but instead they're for your pond, for your, you know, pond plants. And so it's just like a normal plant pot, but it has slits all around it. So you put your food in those with your bedding, and they just go in there, but mine got broken. So I saw Sandra using another version of one of these, and I was like, oh, that's amazing, because I've just got some of those, I'll save them. So they've been sat on my kitchen windowsill for ages waiting. So all you do is put some holes in, and what you don't want really is for these, you can cut them down or whatever, but mine castings are about as deep as what these cups are. And so what I'm going to do is put food in here to bait my worms and give them somewhere to go, because I don't want all the food and new bedding through all these castings, but I do want the worms out. And so I'm going to save myself a job in sifting and everything. And in true Blue Peter style, for anybody that's been in the UK and knows what I'm talking about, here's one I prepared earlier. And so in there, get my hand out the way so you can see, I've got normal kitchen scraps, I've got some of the bedding I just showed you, the shredded cardboard, and I've also got eggshell. So that's in there. It's just pulverised eggshell that I put in, because worms have a gizzard just like a chicken, and they use the eggshell to grind up the food and the microbes and everything else they consume. And so then all I'm going to do is make a hole at one end. Like I said, these are deep. I'm going to put that in there, backfill it, and then the worms can get in there, and then I can bait them out. There we go. Little worm, bury them in, and they can travel in and out of there as they like. It's the same kind of principle as those that they call it in-ground vermicomposting. That's not what I mean when I say in-ground vermicomposting, but some people that have raised beds do this as well. So they use a bucket, and they'll do exactly the same as this with a bucket that's got holes in the side in a corner of their raised bed. And then the worms can go in and out. I'm not quite sure how far worms will actually travel to do that, but you know, there's a lot of people that claim it works exceptionally well in their garden. For me, when I talk about in-ground vermicomposting, I'm talking about burying food actually in the ground, where it's not going to interfere with roots of plants, so that it's actually composting in ground, in situ, with the worms doing that for me. And so then I will, when I've filled this one, I'll put it there, and I'll do that off camera. Now, I was asked by Sandra what I'm going to be doing with my castings and why I'm saving them, why I'm not using them straight away. And so I touched on that. With it being winter here, there's no point in me trying to use these right now because it's winter. And so what I will do is, because I don't have a huge, this looks like a huge amount, but in terms of my garden, it's really not. And because I need to keep amending these beds I've got, and also I garden in 42-litre buckets as well, and I treat those as no dig too. So all I'll be doing is that as each plant that I start off inside gets potted on, the compost that I use to pot on those seedlings will have my compost that I produce from my garden mixed with this at about a 20% ratio. And that means that for every plant that gets transplanted outside, it'll get a spread of this vermicompost. And so it's not a huge amount that's getting put into my garden, but it's getting some. And then with the rest of it, I'll be making a drench, sort of like a compost tea as such, so that those microbes are getting put all over the garden. You can make a foliar spray, which is, again, it's just tea that you make and then you spray the plants with it. I have other things for that, so I don't actually do that myself. I like to get it straight into the soil because, again, it's the symbiotic relationship that the plants have with those microbes in the soil. So that's what I use mine for, because I don't have the huge quantity to actually be putting it all over the garden at the moment. But as soon as it gets warm here, my worms will seriously crack on this year. And so that's what I'm doing. So I hope you found this useful, and if you have, I hope you'll like it. Leave a comment, share and subscribe. I want to say thank you to all those of you that have already subscribed and have stuck with me this year, and I hope to see many more of you throughout this next coming year. I hope you have a tremendously productive year in your own gardens and with your worms, and I'll see you back next time. Bye for now.